You think accepting free things puts you in control. But the moment someone hands you something for free, you just became more likely to give them what they want. It feels harmless. A free sample at the store. A favor from a coworker. A compliment from someone you barely know. You take it, say thanks, and move on. Except your brain doesn't move on. It registers a debt. A tiny obligation you didn't ask for, but now feel anyway. And that feeling is powerful enough to make you buy things you don't need, say yes to requests you want to decline, and give your time to people who don't deserve it. You're not being generous. You're being manipulated by a bias so automatic that companies build entire business models around it, and you've been falling for it your whole life without realizing the pattern. This is called reciprocity bias. Research shows that people are up to 3 times more likely to comply with a request after receiving even the smallest gift first. Your brain is hardwired to return favors. When someone gives you something, anything, your brain creates an immediate sense of indebtedness. This goes back to survival. Early humans needed cooperation to stay alive. If someone shared food with you, you had to share back or risk being cut off from the group. Reciprocity built trust. It kept communities strong. So, your brain evolved a powerful urge to balance the scales. The problem is, this system doesn't distinguish between genuine generosity and strategic manipulation. Someone gives you a free pen with their logo on it. Your brain treats it like they just saved your life. The debt feels real, even when the gift is worthless. Your brain thinks it's maintaining social bonds. It's actually making you vulnerable to anyone who understands how this works. Watch this play out at the grocery store. They hand you a free sample of cheese, one tiny cube. You weren't even thinking about buying cheese. But now you've taken something from them. Your brain registers the transaction. You feel a small pull to reciprocate, so you grab the package. You didn't want it 5 seconds ago, but refusing feels wrong now. The sample created an obligation, or a coworker helps you with something small. They forward an email, they answer a quick question, then 2 days later they ask if you can cover their shift. You want to say no? You're busy. You have plans, but they just helped you. Your brain is screaming that you owe them, so you say yes. You just traded your entire Saturday for a forwarded email because your brain can and tell the difference between a genuine favor and a strategic setup. This is like trying to fill a bathtub with a drain open. You try to reciprocate, the obligation disappears for a moment. Then someone gives you something else. A compliment, a small favor, a piece of advice you didn't ask for. The debt reappears. You reciprocate again. The cycle never stops because the people who know how this works never stop triggering it. They give just enough to keep you feeling obligated, and you keep giving back way more than you receive. You give back once and think you're even, but that creates a pattern. They gave. Now, your brain expects to keep the exchange going. This makes you more likely to give next time, which makes them more likely to ask, which makes you more likely to feel obligated. You're not just dealing with one instance of reciprocity. You're building a relationship where you're always slightly in debt. The person who gave you the free sample doesn't just get one sale. They get a customer who feels connected to them. The coworker doesn't just get you to cover one shift. They get someone who feels like they owe ongoing favors. The small gift compounds. The obligation grows, and you never notice because each individual exchange seems fair. And no, you're not overthinking this. It really is that complex. Most people think this is about being polite, so they try to just accept things graciously and move on. But that S, like thinking you can pet a wild animal as long as you be gentle about it. The real issue isn't whether you accept the gift politely, it's that accepting it at all triggers the bias. You can smile and say thanks all you want. Your brain still registered the debt. The obligation still exists, and that obligation will influence your next decision, whether you're aware of it or not. This bias survives because it's wrapped in social norms. Refusing a gift feels rude, ungrateful, like you're rejecting the person, not just the object. Plus, admitting this works on you feels like admitting you're easily manipulated. That threatens your sense of yourself as someone who makes independent choices. And if you stopped reciprocating automatically, you'd have to face how many times you've said yes to things you didn't want because someone gave you something first. Your brain would rather keep the automatic exchange going than confront that reality. This is the part that changes everything. People who break free from this don't refuse all gifts. That's impossible and socially destructive. The difference is they separate the gift from the obligation. You can accept something without accepting the invisible debt that comes with it. Someone gives you a free sample. You take it. You enjoy Italiano. Then you make your decision about buying based on whether you actually want the product, not based on whether you feel you owe them. Someone does you a favor. You appreciate it genuinely. Then when they ask you for something, you evaluate their request on its own merit, not based on whether you're evening a score. The gift and the obligation are separate things. You're allowed to keep one without taking the other. So the next time someone hands you something for free at the store, you'll know what's really happening. Your brain is registering a debt that doesn't actually exist. That tiny sample is designed to make you feel like you owe them, but you don't. You can take it. You can say thanks. You can walk away without buying anything. The obligation is in your head, not in reality. Now you can catch it. You can feel the pull to reciprocate and choose whether to act on it. You're not being rude. You're being aware. And awareness means you're no longer controlled by a strategy you never agreed to participate in. You started this video thinking free things were putting you ahead. Now you know they were creating invisible debts. That's not a small shift. That's understanding the game that's been playing you.